Everybody wants to be an astronaut. Take the long, tall train to the sun.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Group B Week 4 out of the Golden Path Invitational or Tournament, or however we're calling it. Um, my name is Agent of Zion, and I will be commentating this match between Lannister, Ribbit, Cash, and elessar. They've just shuffled it up. We're using the Hidden Picks mode, if you're not familiar, which removes a selectable number of leaders from the game prior to start, and you can't see what other people are picking. It does go in the reverse turn order, but when you get down to number 2 and 1, the field could be wide open. You have absolutely no idea. Whereas if you're down earlier in the picking order, you'll get a bit of a better selection. All right, we see elessar picking the beast there. Always a strong choice in general, especially on a Imperium row that's not honestly very exciting. Right? Picking the beast, going for the combat. There's nothing crazy in the Imperium row. You'll be happy to get the voice, but it's not worth specifically picking Helena or Ekaz, although only Helena is available this game. And Sardaukar Legion is kind of meh all the way around. If somebody picks Ilbin, they'd probably like that. But Imperium rows improve. Helena is never a bad choice, especially in the late turn order. Being unblockable on green and purple spaces is amazing. All right, Ribbit coming up now. Out of these, in second, I think it's almost mandatory you pick the Baron. I think you have to. And then Lannister, knowing Lannister, he's going to go ahead and pick that Romber. He's going to be on the Romber life. But he may be eyeing the Ilbin. No, just hard slammed the old Romber. So we'll come back over here. Ribbit does have to select his bumps from Master Stroke. I don't think that those are going to be a surprise. He's probably not going to mix it up much. Yep, Fremen and Guild just like normal. Pretty okay starting hands from the two players who have shuffled it up already. Although I don't know what that was. Ah, okay. And rewind, the numbers were janky. Not quite sure what that means, but we'll get there. So, not an inspiring Imperium row, not an inspiring tech row. Invasion ships does get picked up. It is one of Lannister's favorite techs on Romber. But it's not like it's going to be a round 1, round 2 thing. Although that is a very, very spicy combat. And Romber is just going to go ahead and eliminate all possibility of the Baron doing Baron things and getting off on a massive, massive head start, as that character is known to do. So kicking it back over to the Baron, seems to be having some issues. Nope, there he goes. He would have had it available. And Helena probably happy to not have a ring here. A good round of buys from everybody with guaranteed ring next round probably puts her in a much happier position. But if it is going to be a big card, if a Jessica pops out, if a Treachery pops out, having both convincings in this hand isn't going to do her any good. Now, the Baron's consolation prize here is, of course, the fold space, and the next round he will have diplomacy. As long as he doesn't go to Arakeen or do anything funky, he will be able to get up on that shipping track. He just won't be able to do it with one fell swoop by hitting up Hardy Warriors this round. Helena getting the shipping track, pretty standard moves all the way around, aside from Lannister's Hardy Warrior as first action. So you swap those two actions, this game is on rails so far. Now, the Beast can pretty easily pick up a second place here. But he may be heading up to Wealth, which would be what I was thinking of, or possibly Still Suits. Get in on the spice a little bit. quite sure what. I mean, having spice is never bad, right? So, you don't need to have a plan for the spice to just take still suits and call it a day. Kick that can down the road. You definitely want to use at least one, if not both of your faction cards in round one, since you did draw them both. You may just go ahead and forego the extra troop off of the signet ring. It's not likely to be entirely too impactful. Lannister picking up a allied armada on this combat as well, which will accelerate his at least one faction track. Yeah, just the one. He's not gonna. He's gonna have his diplomacy next round. He may end up hitting up still suits to get his water back and push back up into the Fremen track in order just to get Allied Armada online. The Baron does have some options, but none of them are great. He's got a 25% chance of just drawing his diplomacy off of Arakeen, and that's not going to feel good. At the same time, though, there isn't anything crazy tasty up in that Imperium row that makes tech negotiation a great idea. If it was me, I'd probably take tech negotiation anyway. Worst case scenario, end up with a Sardaukar Legion out of it. And that's exactly what he went and did. Cash on Helena up next. Does have option to go to Carthag, get a little mixed up. You're guaranteed at least one spice for your trouble if you do it. I don't really like this move, but, being third to buy in the first round, and this gives you 6 persuasion to do so. It's not bad. Were it me, I'd probably go to Carthag, but, it's not my decision to make, right? Kicking it back over to elessar on the Beast. He does have his second choice. He's going to get that second place locked in unless, double cross isn't even a worry. Lannister has no money. So I think wealth is the play here. Wealth or secrets. My preference would be towards wealth. You do want Solari in the early game. And that's the move. So Lannister will be buying a nothing. Hot cross and nothing. Secures the combat handily. Does he take Fremen or Guild? My guess is he would probably take Fremen just to run it down. And he'll get a spice to boot. So 5 to buy for Ribbit. Sardaukar Legion is the. It's not a bad option. I like the voice with 5 here because if you pick up the voice, gene manipulation, Fremen commando, there's things for 3 that feel pretty good. You have the option for in the shadows at that point, that sort of thing. I probably pick space travel here. I don't hate it. It's worth 2 on a reveal. Eventually, hopefully pick up some spice. You can turn that into a highliner that replaces itself. But he opts for the Arrakis Liaison instead, probably somewhat wary about revealing anything too great into Helena. Can't blame that. So Helena, probably picking up the other memory. It's the best card on the row, in my opinion, right now. That would leave him with 2 to buy. So other memory, Liaison, not too bad, but it is Helena. You don't have to settle for liaisons. Things are going to come. You can use your ring. Goes for space travel, gets rewarded with the Shifting Allegiances, another great 3-cost card. It just didn't work out for Ribbit there, revealing 1 earlier. Easy second place, cheapest 2 spice of elessar's life. Not a whole lot for him up on the road, though. I think he's just going to grab a liaison and go. Opts for the Chris knife instead. It is faction access. Beast does want at least 1 additional faction access card to try to get up on that alliance. And we'll see where Lannister takes his bump. He took it up in the guild. I missed it. So this is standard, but I did kind of expect him to run down the front. Alright, Conflict 2, number 1. So the 2 shipping bumps there, It's going to be nice if Helena can pick it up. It's moderately uninspiring for anyone else, and I don't anticipate this combat getting too freaky. There's not a whole lot at stake here, although second place is great for pretty much anyone except Beast. Everyone would like to have at least one more water. Helena's just going to take hers the hard way, or the easy way, I guess. You don't have to commit troops. Romber for sure wants some water back, at least soon. The benefit for being a Lannister here is, you've seen all these convincing arguments go flying around. Everyone else, if Helena doesn't ring away Stilgar, got a decent chance of getting it. You can look at your opponent's discard piles and you can figure it out. But Rumber is the only one with the option if all agents are played out and Arakeen or selective breeding don't draw people up into some stuff. I guess Beast could get it too. It would be weird for Beast to go back up to tech negotiation, but it is what it is. On that note, Baron could, but I don't see Baron that'd be almost a waste of a round for him. So we'll just sit tight, see how things play out. But the point is, it doesn't cost Lannister hardly anything to just play it out a little bit and pick up whatever's left. Especially with still suits being taken, the option gets much less weighty when it's no longer an option at all. Kicks the turn back over to Baron. Baron is going to go ahead and head up smuggling. I'm sorry, that's interstellar shipping for the 2 bumps. Stock standard play from Baron, doing Baron things. He still does have that master stroke too, which will be pretty nice if he can get that off next round. Off of his fold space or his diplomacy. I don't believe, did he pick up the space travel? I can't recall. Not the space travel won't do it for him anyway. Either the fold spaces and the diplomacy. Head up that Hardy Warriors, maybe get yourself some Solari off of a Conflict 2. Then that puts you on the 3 bump on the guild, and then a ship down from interstellar shipping. Gets you all the money you need to get yourself a nice Swordmaster, and the game is your oyster at that point. That's kind of where Baron likes to be. Cash on Helena, correctly identifies Stilgar as the best card by a country mile, throws it up in the reserve off of his signet, and elessar appears to be going to grab the Mintat. He's kind of low on shipping priority. He's kind of low on turn priority when he will be able to have money to buy Swordmaster. So better just to expand options now and try to sneak in on this combat, I think. If he can slide his way into Carthag or Arakeen, it's pretty painless for him. The only card that he doesn't really want to draw is his Signet. Or Diplomacy, I suppose, from Arakeen. Lannister immediately trashing. I'm unsure what he's trying for. Or if he's just doing it for lack of better options. He is going to be last to buy this round, so that he can get pretty much everything. Everything except Chome and Kwisatz Haderach. Another liaison pickup by the Baron. I don't know if he has some prescience of his own. He just feels Elliot Kynes coming. But it is now Helena's revealed. Did he pick up 2 there? No, he just has the 2. Alright. 1 in each round. Now Helena can't pick up Stilgar. There was some decent denial. And a very cheap combat for the Beast to pick up here. Carthag being far superior of an option to Arakeen, unless something particularly interesting pops up. But whatever is good, which is going to be other memory, I think Lannister just snatches that away. So just go ahead, pick up Carthag. You got 5 to buy with. You can buy plenty of nice things for 5. And the expedite here feels really, really good too for him. Winning this combat, he's going to get one of these troops back. So, paying 1 troop for two shipping icons is a great deal, especially if he's going to get a good tech off of being able to just bump it straight up the line and use expedite. Doesn't even matter what the turn order is. When the worst of the techs that you can purchase is hollow projectors, you're probably going to be okay. Now, Lannister does pick up the Sardaukar Legion over the other memory, which I think is an interesting choice. It does have some faction access, which he hasn't picked anything up in that regard just yet. So that's probably good for him. And he did kind of skip out on the first player's niceness of having access to fold space. So he's a little starved in that regard, and he's going to go ahead and shore that up. Yeah, elessar is going to Value Town. Good point there. Lannister cannot argue. Getting the power play and the free shipping, this dude is going to rocket up at least 1 track. And then Cash grabbed a great intrigue card for himself there in the guild authorization. He's still going to have to skip his chance, his first opportunity at interstellar shipping. But maybe he can sneak something out if somebody else isn't anticipating him being able to go there just by sneakily going for it. If nothing else, an intrigue card that gives you an action from hand, and that's what guild authorization does equate into, is never a bad pickup, especially if these combats might get dicey sooner rather than later. Once Romber starts eyeballing dreadnoughts, once the beast starts going up on a track, when the Baron still hasn't done his master stroke, even an ambush off of Carthag for Helena, or I'm not Carthag, but the combat reward probably wouldn't have felt too great. And this is a perfect combat for Baron. It is going to give him his master stroke. It is going to go ahead and give him a victory point. I'm anticipating him winning unless some weirdness happens. And the beast can kind of have it all here too if he desires. You can send this signet down into Haga Basin, grab 4 spice, spend 1 of it, ship it down, pick up all the money in the world, or you can just go to smuggling and do the same. But yeah, the Chris knife actually coming in hot here, being pretty useful. Shores him up on the 1 extra money he needs. He doesn't even need to go to smuggling. He can ship straight out. I recommend that he do it now. Yep, that would be the play. You want to at least put up a fight to the Baron there, I think. In this situation, right after a shuffle, you don't even know if he has the access in his hand, although with 2 fold spaces and a diplomacy, it's almost all but guaranteed. And picking up invasion ships seals it. And that's the direction he's going with it, which feels pretty good. So that's 4 troops from there. Possible 2 more from the combat. 2 more from his garrison. He could slam a serious number right now. Could hit 16, and then a signet ring elsewhere would allow him 1 additional. So combat strength 18, anticipating this dagger is going to go towards buying his swordmaster this round. So thinking ahead, can Baron beat 16-18? Probably not. Not saying it. Unless he goes to Carthag and gets something amazing. But do you really slam this level of commitment, sight unseen, or you try to keep something back? I'm of the opinion, if you're going to go for a victory point, go all the way for that victory point. Don't half-ass it. There are still 2 troops missing, and that is egregious enough. I will step in and stop the game if this continues to move without the faction bump being taken or the troops being grabbed. I don't think he's done that yet. Or did he have 0? Maybe I'm out of line here. All right. Yeah, I told him before the game started, I'm too close to friends with Lannister. I am biased in his favor here, even though he thinks I'm not. But, I can't be really policing the game as much as some other people do at times. But that would be pretty egregious, the lack of those 2 troops. So I'll step in there. Lannister is going to go up on the shipping. Is he going to buy a tech? He can't really buy a tech. He's going to have to drop another dude up there. With the 2 money, though, it seems like that is more of a blocking move than anything he's trying to attempt for. Although he may be thinking, I'm going to get 1 more off of the Baron's ship, and then I can go up and get a dreadnought and get things kicked off. Dreadnought and hollow. No, he couldn't get hollow projector. No, he could. He could get hollow projector. Dreadnought and hollow projectors. Dreadnought troop transports. Neither of which are terrible. The Baron. This might actually happen here. He may be thinking he doesn't have to go up to interstellar shipping right away, and Cash might get away with absolute murder here. Intrigues are key. Now, the amusing thing would be if he voiced down into the city and then on interstellar shipping, but maybe, nope, he plays it safe. Hollow projectors or troop transports. I'm guessing he's going to get troop transports. Opts for the hollow projectors instead. I'd be trying to mix it up in this combat a little. I kind of like picking up troop transports here, especially since you have domination on this shipping track. But opts away, grabs his money, keeps it moving. Now, wind traps available for, I'm just going to predict the future. Lannister's going to go get a dreadnought. Lannister's going to buy wind traps, and then Lannister is going to be an absolute terror. It's the only thing he has to worry about with troops on board is the Baron. And with only 1 water, the Baron's pretty predictable. 1 water, no spice, not a whole lot going on. Sardaukar Legion was bought by Lannister as well, so he can throw loads of dudes into every single combat and not even worry about having to refill from the shipping track, which is the primary source. Now, it is kicked on over to Cash. Is Cash considering signating down this Shai Halud? I think it's good enough that you can't let anybody else get it. He has the option to buy it if he signets it away. He's got 6 persuasion in hand. Picks up an infiltrate, which isn't as valuable on Helena as it is elsewhere, but sitting on 2 intrigue cards for as long as possible makes people think twice. I think you absolutely 100% toss at least 1 troop in. You're going to raise the price on that 3rd place by a significant margin. Granted, I do have the benefit of godlike powers and can see everything, but even if I was just sitting in Helena's seat in this place right now, I see Romber with 3 money. I see Romber not really making moves to try to get shipping. He's probably going to a dreadnought. I may have shot just 1 troop in for 2. 3 troops for 4 is a bit different. especially when that 4 won't give you guaranteed Swordmaster. If it gives you guaranteed Swordmaster in Helena's position, I think then that's a great pickup and a great place to be. But 4 isn't crazily different from 2 here. Does opt to reserve other memory. You may be planning on picking up other memory and the Missionaria Protectiva, which is great on Helena because she can always send that missionary down into the city. Never an option to block, but I'd be surprised if that Missionaria gets through the Baron's buy round or buy phase. See, it does have the voice, and that is a nice grab. Wind traps for sure. He gets to hold on to a spice to boot. And that puts him in a very nice place. Play too many games with Lannister. He's got no tricks left for me. Utterly boring individual. Don't recommend playing with him ever, honestly. The more you play with him, the worse you actually get at the game because you start making moves that only apply to games with him, and then you're thrown off the meta entirely. The world is Baron's oyster, but going for Masterstroke here doesn't feel great. That being said, what else can you do? That is the other option. I wonder if he... Yeah, nothing insanely good to buy in the row. You're fourth to buy anyway. You got 2 daggers left in the deck. Maybe you want them for next round. Try a Masterstroke then. Got a decent chance of your second fold space popping up in next round. A little more than 50%. Not bad. Not bad at all. Helena opts to grab the Death Commando. Likes the trash. Not quite sure what... They still do have the option to grab other memory. I think it's criminal how late this other memory is going, and even more criminal if it doesn't get taken at all. But the Bene Gesserit Sister is pretty good as well. Not a whole lot of cards going around with faction access in general, so that's a premium right there. And I don't think I've seen any with Benny access get purchased. So having a near monopoly on those spaces when you want them would be pretty nice. Elessar grabbed a Swordmaster in his last turn. He has the option to use invasion ships. He's not going to need his dagger. Though it doesn't really seem necessary. I think just getting a yet one more water is probably pretty good here, although looks like he is going to go ahead and do it. He also says, you know what, 2 persuasion is worthless as well. Let's go ahead and grab myself shipping access. I got my turn coming up next. I gotta dune the desert planet with my name on it. It's gonna go to interstellar shipping. Negotiated Withdrawal is an absolute banger of a card, especially in 3 characters that are combat heavy. The extra troop is nice, being able to feint your way into and out of a combat and get a faction bump to boot in a game where there haven't been that many wide access to factions. Although it is kind of picking up. I'm going to have to stop saying that eventually. Probably one more faction card or 2 showing up on this row, and it becomes kind of normal. But it does, at the very least, seem very concentrated on the Fremens. Elessar picks up the combat easily, grabs his victory point. Pretty cheap. He definitely spent far fewer troops than I would have, and he's probably feeling pretty good about that. I have a tendency to overpay for my combats, which is why I don't really try to play combat decks too often. The Imperium row may not be providing faction access, but these combats sure are. We've got everybody's favorite machinations. Water, faction access. The money is pretty much irrelevant at this point. But everyone's happy to see a way forward, I think. Interstellar shipping. Feels nice. But Romber, for sure, having no Solari, will likely be the last to get a Swordmaster if he gets one at all this game. He wants this combat really, really badly. Doesn't have the option to go to Mentat with that Sardaukar Legion, which would be the best deal. Replaces itself, gets you some people, lets you kind of tease out the combat a little bit, see how it's going to go. But he does have plenty of options on what to do. So he can go ahead and grab the wealth. That does open up the Mentat as an option off of his Signet Ring. But not having a alliance just yet, and without coming up anywhere close, really, I'm curious to see when this Allied Armada gets played. But not sitting on a big spice hoard over there. And Baron is going to have his option for the Master Stroke. That's the one that actually kills you, is the Master Stroke. Everybody can take a regular one just fine. It's when the doctors start throwing qualifiers in front of it. That's when you get worried. That's what my dad said. Now, at least that's what I think my dad said. He was only speaking through half of his face, so it is what it is. Convincing argument. Baron's got plenty of persuasion this round. So maybe he goes for the Swordmaster, maybe he doesn't. Kind of curious what he does here. I think he still gets Swordmaster. Yeah, trying to figure out a way to get a Spice Must Flow in the either third or fourth round of the game. Fourth round of the game. Probably not entirely too reliable. Though it would be interesting to see it happen. Maybe if you had some spice and some benefaction access, you might see someone lean over that way. Helena feeling pretty fighty. Got those two daggers. It's got shifting shifting allegiances as well. It's really interesting where they intend to go with this. Diplomacy. There isn't anything particularly interesting other than selective breeding, in my opinion. If she doesn't want to fight, then maybe trimming the deck down with the daggers in hand and then following it up in a bit with shifting allegiances is pretty good. But I don't think Still Suits in this position is going to be better than just sending shifting allegiances right over to Imperial Basin and getting it for free. It kludges up the combat a little bit. It's free spice. It lets you sit on things. Or if not that, then smuggling would be a very good option as well. Smuggling with shifting allegiances gets you the same kind of faction bumps, and then it allows you to get your Swordmaster this round with a dagger that would otherwise be useless. elessar on the beast. He's doing beastie things. He's going to get himself his own dollar off of Arakeen. I don't know what he's trying to buy, but he hits that power play. Feels good about that. Last card in the deck, he knew it was coming. And he gets to drop dudes down just because. Now, where does he power play? Who knows? It's probably going to be Bene Gesserit, especially if selective breeding is still available when it rolls back around. But he does have invasion ships, so it doesn't have to be. He does have a water available. He's got 2 troops in the garrison. He can come out over the top just by discarding the Dune the Desert planet. And that gets him pretty close to his alliance anyway, which he wants for his signet. Hollow projectors used by the Baron. Snatches himself a dagger. Dropped a convincing argument. Quite a lot of persuasion. I don't know what he was hoping to draw. But he does get his Swordmaster. It's interesting that he chose to do it with the liaison and not the dagger. thinks his dagger might be relevant. He is walking into the combat without intrigues, and his strongest opponent, who's already committed, also does not have intrigues, so those daggers do become quite important. Meanwhile, Lannister just does not want to miss his turn at interstellar shipping. I think he's just going to come up and ship it right down. He's going to take his faction bump and go. Now, which faction he actually goes up on will be interesting. He does tend toward wanting to take free faction influence with the Emperor, especially if he can figure out a way to utilize the crossing the line bonus up into the Emperor Alliance area to get an extra 2 guys. He's probably eyeballing the Emperor Alliance in general, just because that is one of his signature classic moves. And also because that Sardaukar Legion just makes it much easier for him to get vice anybody else. I think that's still the only Emperor faction access that we've seen. Helena is considering options. Guild administration and then infiltrate to discard a dagger, ship down. You can get a lot of stuff done this way. It's what we call blowing the entire load. Daggers are still going to languish in his hand, unfortunately for him. And he is playing for a future cash, future Helena. And he's just going to sit around and take his shipping bonuses later on. I definitely think that the guild admin, or not the guild admin, but the guild bump there is the way to go. Gets him up to Swordmaster money. I think he got his sequencing a little bit off in this round. I think that was much better done if he gets his Swordmaster here. The daggers weren't going to be used anyway, and nobody's happy to see him later on. And it is possible, I believe. I don't think that last card in his deck has a green, so he may whiff next round. Yeah, that was a reconnaissance. I have seen stranger things happen. The Baron picking up intrigues. Say it isn't so. Baron, a full commit. But I think we're going to see the Beast take his opportunity. He can math it out. Does the Baron have a dagger in the pile? He doesn't, so Beast may or may not. He can come up on 8. That gets him at 14. With no daggers in backing, he might just back off of this one and take the second place, use the power play somewhere else. But as he mulls that over, I'm going to go ahead and get some water really fast. It's going to be silent for a moment. Sorry, fellas. Dead air is never ideal, but I do appreciate you sticking with me. Power play definitely being used. He just shuffled. He doesn't want to toss it in the discard. Options are endless. I don't think his persuasion count is particularly relevant here, so he could discard anything he wants to. And picking up extra water never hurts, especially when it's going to be up in these scrappy early level 3 conflicts here sooner than you might think. Access to the research station is hotly contested. And that is one benefit of Immortality that I like, was the change to research station. It's not quite as contested later on. It's not quite as warping in the late stages of the game as it is otherwise. But having 2 water, being able to go there when you want to, is going to be crucial. elessar and Cash both will be able to have maximum access pretty much whenever they want to that space. So them sitting at 2 water or above is going to be the standard. Lannister and Ribbit have to kind of fight for it. Now, it's interesting that Lannister did not jump in on this combat at all. He's biding his time. Wise of him, especially since Baron was shooting to get his Master Stroke done. Baron did pick up an intrigue card. Even if you can full commit, it's not a sure thing. And if there's one thing I know Lannister likes, it's sure things. That's why he talks to my mom so much. But looks like this combat is settled, and mediocre garrison totals for the Baron and the Beast, and a victory point on offer, and swords in hand with very, very poor agent symbology for Mr. Lannister. I think we're going to go ahead and see a interstellar shipping, and then we're going to see probably Haga Basin at that point. Probably see Haga Basin, because I don't see Imperial Basin or Great Flat surviving. He can't access Great Flat anyway. But hitting it up and doing just a dreadnought and a little troop, 3 swords, puts you at 11. Pretty respectable in a low combat card game. Nothing crazily has been bought off the Imperium Road that influences combat, so I haven't seen any Helicopter Joes. The Shai Halud's been hanging out up there for quite a while. And the Baron is going to just probably head up Carthag and start stacking. Or Imperial Basin, that's what I would grab. Free spice. It's so much spice. Someone has to take it. It's an absolute coup, if not. Hell, I'm back with the Shifting Allegiances. Might just lock out this guild. Drop the Fremen, bump the guild, make Baron cry. 3 free spice, living the dream. Coming up to 3 total after paying for the Shifting Allegiances. Nothing to commit to combat, but does it matter? Just securing 1 alliance, taking it away from the Baron. Absolute coup. And unfortunately for Baron, there's nothing he could do to prevent that. It just happened to be the luck of the draw almost. I believe that was a full shuffle from Cash there. So spending 4 spice seems a little odd. Looks like, oh, okay, I see. Yeah, he went up and then came back down. All right. Here's some hardy warriors. Why not get that signet online, a full commit? And he goes, I got 2 agents left, buddy. What are you going to do with 1 dreadnought? Your max commit right now is on what I'm sitting at. So what are you doing here? Is grabbing the mint hat. I'm not sure what Lannister hopes to do with this other agent, though. This deck is frankly mediocre, as much as I love the guy. It's not a whole lot that he could have bought, or that he could have drawn there that makes him happier. It feels like he's just spending money for nothing at that point. Does he just want, water for cheap? You want faction access? Maybe he just wanted to shuffle. He's a man of many plans. He's only got 7 cards left. Grabbing Haga Basin on the way back around, if it's still available for him, does open up Highliner. It'll be half of a wasted action, though, since that alliance is locked out. But, Highliner next round, maybe? Maybe that's what he's thinking. We'll see. Options are pretty decent for Baron, by which I mean option, probably Carthag, although he could just increase his chances. Yep. Grabs that, negotiate, withdraw, insta toss 3 in. Doesn't hurt you a bit. kick the decision down the road. Do I want a faction bump or do I want whatever combat rewards are available to me? Probably seeing this Swordmaster get picked up by Helena, leaving Lannister on Romber with the only person to have not purchased one. And this late in the game, no money in the bank. I don't think we're going to see it. Over to the Beast. Does have Chris Knife in hand. Does have the Fremen Bond in hand. So I don't agree with him playing the Chris Knife here. He could get that faction bump for free. But maybe he just really wants that 3 spice. He really wants shipping. Okay. Troop transports for free. Could get Chalmerky just by paying 1. He's going for the troop transports. I don't dislike the move here. Why not go up to shipping when you can? It is game warping. And this is most of the benefit of going to Haga Basin, and you get to keep your water too. Does opt for the Bene Gesserit. Doesn't have any access there. Picks up an extra $1 off the Chris Knife. And what he does with his last action, who knows, but I don't hate selective breeding. I don't hate secrets. Diplomacy in hand. You can pick up a point off of the Emperor track or the Bene Gesserit track. And if anyone starts getting squarely down in the Fremen, diplomacy works there too, as long as still suits isn't actually the method by which things get squarely. I do think Lannister is almost boned here, though. Can't win the combat. Can't even threaten the combat and extract more resources from people. He could commit the Dreadnought. Maybe pick up a free water for his trouble. That opens up a great flat next round for him, but I don't see it surviving both all the way back around at that point. He decides to take selective breeding, which is pretty nice. Grabs his other sword card in Jameis. But it's going to be 6 persuasion for him there. Not quite enough to pick up the Shai Halud I think he was eyeballing. And Ribbit might be forgetting. Nope, I thought he was grabbing that intrigue card. Never mind. Gets an intrigue. Another one, and another one, and another one. Commit that last troop. Lets him get a faction bump and combat rewards. Feels real nice. And everybody's just kind of eyeballing a group of 3 intrigues. Pretty low intrigue this game. Helena says, I'm going to correct that. I'm grabbing one too. Good idea, buddy. Thanks for coming out. Private Army does change the math in the next couple of combats. But unfortunately, I don't think it's actually going to do much in this one. Yep. I mean, it's 1 troop for 1 water is fine. We actually have to do something with the water. We haven't really seen much motion in that ocean just yet. Diplomacy here, though. Don't hate secrets, don't hate wealth. Don't hate either one of those. Wealth feels good because he's probably going to be, I'm talking about the Beast here. Beast is probably going to be sitting out next combat. So grabbing wealth now and just taking the opportunity next round to pick up High Council, do a little more shipping, rebuild your supplies. It's not too bad. It's coming over to Siege Tabor. He's concerned about those intrigues. That has to be what that is, which can't fault him for. Even with no spice, it could be up to 11 combat power from hand from the Baron. And you certainly have to be thinking about a possible 8. So if you can't beat it, you can at least tie it. But Beast may feel like he's overpaid at the end of this combat. He shouldn't. A victory point is a victory point, especially when the Baron just kind of throws down. And that was his first action of this round, was to drop 3 troops in. So Gurney out on the field now, available for purchase. He's going to spice things up quite a bit. Popped in after Lannister takes the second Sardaukar Legion, which I do disagree with that pickup, unless he's trying to commit on reveal. Which, I suppose that might just be what his plan is. If he can't, doesn't have a sword master, keeps picking up dudes, gotta spend the dudes. Three to purchase with and nothing inspiring. Opts to just avoid everything and pass this turn. Combat hits, everything's pretty set in stone. Cash, it's not. I don't see Cash paying out 2 spice for 2 more water in that position. So, yep, they are just going to go ahead and divvy up those rewards, and the Beast takes the lead by 2. elessar being pretty commanding here. You can see he's got a Spice Hoard and a pretty decent Solari bank as well, keeping his options open for economic supremacy. If he gets what he wants out of this round, economic supremacy in the next round is the first level 3 conflict. Could see an early end, very early end. But Beast does have some work to do to rebuild his garrison, although he does have Signet Ring in hand, and that'll certainly get him part of the way there. Signet Ring in hand, troops transports. He's going to discard something to head up interstellar shipping. Next round, he's going to do the same and ship everybody. And he even has a bonus spice coming to him off of Imperial Basin, which opens up the option for Highliner later. It would be a half-wasted action in terms of faction access. Once again, the guild track is locked out, but if it wins you the game, it wins you the game. Who's going to complain about that, right? Baron eyeballing his options. It's going to be his last opportunity of the game, more than likely, to go to interstellar shipping, so he's going to take that. And now what he decides to voice will be interesting. I have no idea where his proclivities lie in that regard. Opts for the cash, eyeballing High Council, so that he can play Counselor's Dispensation and get his 2 spice back anyway. Especially with the dagger in hand, he just gets to use it. It's an interesting choice. It's not revealing anything about his plans by blocking out selective breeding there, and all that does is hinder others, and that's never bad. And he's just kind of hoping that Beast doesn't go to High Council, which Beast might. I would disagree with it if he did, but he might. I think it's far more likely Beast goes to Carthage just to see what's available. He might also choose to go to Arakeen, try to get a faction access here. Beast looking at trying to get the point off of Bene Gesserit or the Emperor this round to secure it next round if possible. We have Holtzman Engine get picked up by Helena. I don't even think that was the best tech available at the time on the row. I think Shuttle Fleet does more for Helena, being so far behind on other faction tracks. Yeah, I think the Shuttle Fleet would have been far better, especially since you don't have High Council yet. You haven't done a lot of trashing. You don't have a super high persuasion deck. definitely don't have things like Leots. My opinion would be that Shuttle Fleet would be doing more for you in the long run than Holtzman Engine. I don't believe, off the top of my head, I don't think Helena even has any Arrakis liaisons, so I am looking forward to being proved wrong on that. It'd be interesting if that Holtzman does end up generating a point for it. That would be very, very cool. It would take a lot of work, I believe, to get there from here, but it's always good to see people do things outside the box. It's really, really easy to kind of get locked into your own method of thinking and style of play. So that's one thing I love about these tournaments is that we get so many people with so many different levels of experience and skill. Things come out of left field all the time. Really shakes things up. Now, does Beast take High Council? Would be interesting. I don't think he will. It doesn't seem like the play. Not when research station's available. Or even, sure, yeah, Great Flat. Didn't notice that was around. Um, see here. Haga Basin does have a pile on it. That certainly opens things up next round, especially since the um, options, or I'm sorry, the combat rewards in this round are spice. Whether or not Highliner is contested next round, or whether or not the first conflict 3 is economic supremacy. All of this spice floating around, very, very, very short amount of time makes things really interesting. Romber, aka Lannister, is also telegraphing his plans there. He says, "I got 5 spice. I got 5 spice." You say? I can send this fold space up to tech negotiations. I can get a shuttle fleet that'll give me 2 more money. Then next round I can get my other dreadnought and really full commit to a combat. Yeah, spoiler alert. He's going to go ahead and get that shuttle fleet. Very, very telegraphed there. Does it change his point status? Does bump him up in Emperor, which he likes, I'm sure. He'll probably bump himself up in the Bene Gesserit. Emperor for point. Bene Gesserit to possibly take that alliance. But I'm going to laugh if he just ends up picking up Chomarchy. Just, you know what? I'm playing for third, baby. Spent all this time talking about Lannister. Baron did some interesting things. He tossed away a reconnaissance, 2 hollow projectors, picked up, I think it was the fold space that entered his hand there, although I might be wrong. But he does end up getting the 2 spice intrigue online, which may have some sort of value at some point. At the very least, it could just be a way to get up into selective breeding, which I think is probably what he's looking at right now. Having just bought High Council, he's got 3 persuasion in hand. He's going to get 3 cards total coming up into his hand. Yeah, I think selective breeding is the way to go. Meanwhile, Helena drops it on over to the research station. 2 water for 3 cards. Feels nice. Strong disagree with this Dreadnought buy, actually. But if economic supremacy is not the next, like you can't play to the odds of trying to make it a 6-round game, right? I like to do that, and so I would avoid Dreadnought here, but it's not bad. And then what this does is it does kind of dash Romber's hopes of picking up that shuttle fleet. And it still keeps him quite competitive for Highliner next round if need be, because he's got a Dune the Desert Planet. He's got 2 points off this shuttle fleet. You know, he already owns Imperial Base. It doesn't matter if he can get there or not. He's very well positioned. So upon further reflection, I completely changed my tune. Well done, elessar. You beastly player, you. Now, where does Lannister go? Lannister probably cries. None of what is on offer is as good as Shuttlefleet would have been for him. But at the same time, he does go ahead and make Baron cry. I love these knock-on effects. These follow-up effects that just one person doing their own thing had nothing to do with you ends up screwing you over way on down the line. That's what we saw there. So Baron does have to find something to do with his fold space. It does him no good sitting in his hand. I don't think he has any credible way that he can actually pick up a Spice Must Flow this round. And I guess I was wrong. Cash does have at least one liaison sitting in his hand. He is a whiffing, I believe, on a Spice Must Flow. I count up 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 persuasion. The dagger's messing him up. Baron goes ahead, grabs another intrigue, and just says, you know what, I got 2 spice. I wanted selective breeding, but in the absence of better options, I'll at least get my point out of the faction this round. Lannister may end up getting double screwed here and having to commit his dreadnought to a space for this upcoming conflict 3, which with a swordmaster does kind of put Beast in the driver's seat, at least on paper. The Sardaukar legions that Lannister has might throw some wrenches in those plans. I do think Lannister has the Bene Gesserit sister as a source of swords. I think it's the largest source of swords is in Lannister's deck between the Bene Gesserit sister and Jameis. Helena has the Death Commando, but not quite combat focused. Helena is eyeballing the combat, though. She's ready to pounce in. She's prepped up with three garrison troops. Everybody's just waiting on this conflict 3. Meanwhile, elessar says, you know what? If it comes out to it, I'll just go up here. You know, y'all can fight it out. I got troop transports. And I have invasion ships. I literally can't be stopped. Like, I'm throwing a lot of dudes into combat next round. I can do it on a whim. I don't have to wait. I throw a lot of dudes into combat. I could take a faction bump somewhere. Gets 2 spice too, so would be especially interesting if he flows from interstellar shipping into Highliner next round. Be a very, very, very fast victory for the Beast if that was to occur. Don't see the logic in picking up an Arrakis liaison this slate by the Baron. Yeah, maybe he heard me. Starts rethinking his plans. If it gets down to it, I will pause the game and remove that fold space off of Helena's reveal row. But Lannister went and bought the Shai-Hulud, playing into the swords. He needs a miracle almost at this point. He needs another tech bot. He needs detonation devices, and he needs combat VPs that don't go to other people. Trusair, good pickup. I think that the negotiated withdrawal is a good pickup for him too. If Helena picks up that negotiated withdrawal, you don't even care about the extra faction bumps at this point. You got shifting allegiances for that. But what you do get is another troop right away. Anytime earlier in the game, anytime earlier at all, I completely disagree with that entire buy phase by Helena. And I say, you know, Gurney is the way, 100%. But this late in the game, there hasn't been a ton of trashing from anyone. You possibly don't even play Gurney once. Buying the other card ahead of time does open up options. Maybe picking up a power play. Maybe picking up a Web of Power, something like that. This is an incredibly cheap combat. Gonna go to the place with the bonus spice as expected, and Lannister picks up Highliner Spice. It's available. I believe it's coming. He's got Urgent Mission too as a stand-in for Swordmaster, so it's very, very possibly not as in the bag as maybe Beast thinks it is, especially with poor faction access from Beasts such as that. He can get down to the city once, he can get on the desert once, and then he can ship. But I don't think that diplomacy is going to be used to serious effect unless he ships with first action and then follows up with Highliner the second. But with economic supremacy, I'm a mind. It's not even mind reading. Like I said earlier, I've got prescience. I knew it was coming. This could be the game ender. If Beast doesn't really have to do that much to get a couple of points this round. I don't think that starting off with shipping is bad for him, even if he has to discard his other Dune the Desert Planet. I think it's perfectly fine. You can ship it down, pick up spice. It's fine. You're happy with it. Could even get real fancy. If you want to get really, really fancy, right? You go Dune the Desert Planet into Imperial Basin to grab your spice. Then you ship down for Solari, and you have everything, committed at that point. And then you follow it up with a city move. At that point, Siege Tabor is probably the only thing you're going to have left that's worth anything. Or you can just hope Arakeen happens. Ship now, take the spot. It's fine. A lot of different ways that could play out. Helena's made the decision to go ahead and hit that smuggling track. And I don't know if she actually threw away the full space. I hope it's not relevant. I said I was going to keep track of something, but left it completely alone. She does have to pick something up off the row. But as I told them before, I'm not here to judge. And that's not quite so egregious that I would stop the game for it. They need to kind of keep track of that sort of thing themselves. So, yep. If you're watching this in the future, you broke the rules. This entire game is invalid. But yeah, we can do. I don't think it would have been relevant anyway. Pick up Gurney, pick up power play, one way or the other. Somebody's not getting something they wanted. Oh, maybe. Now all he ooh. Ooh. Oh boy. Spy satellite pickup by the beast. This could get crazy fast. Could get very crazy. I can't even speculate how the rest of this round is going to go, but just say that if Lannister, Ribbit, and Cash don't feel like they're in danger, they should. They really should. Looks like he is continuing to weigh his options on the rest of his pickups. What hasn't he gotten yet? I think he's thinking about spice or... No, you got everything. Okay, he did pass the turn just now. Alright. Lannister's option to play, not great options. The timing of when he can commit to combat versus the rewards available for doing so have been pretty rough. I don't hate selective breeding here. I don't hate selective breeding here even if you trash your diplomacy. You could conceptually scrabble your way to 9 persuasion by doing so. And he's thinking about, yep, two intrigues. Not too bad either. Does he play the strong arm or the rapid? No. He's going to hold on to it. I agree with this. If you have rapid, you don't want a strong arm unless it's actually getting you something, even just to get out of your hand. Web of Power not in play. Invasion ships already used this round. Your intrigues are pretty safe. Keeping the diplomacy in hand keeps the option for Highliner on the table. And then being able to send Sardaukar Legion up to wealth is a really feel-good moment for him, I think. Or if somebody else actually starts committing and fighting the beast, Lannister might take the option to dip out of this, go to wealth with diplomacy, and then go to Dreadnought with the Sardaukar Legion. Gets him 2 troops, his second Dreadnought. His other one comes back off of Imperial Basin next round, and he's early to act. It can get a lot done, but it all kind of hinges on this actually going another round. Baron plays a Hall of Projectors, ditches that dagger, draw it back into something. I think he shuffled his hand around, didn't quite keep track of what he picked up. Wasn't happy enough with it, and decides to play an intrigue card, refocus, gets the deck all shuffled up, and the voice came in. So the voice plus Arrakis Liaison plus convincing argument equals I want a Spice plus flow this round. And I think the best way for him to get is to send that dagger on up over into Tech Negotiation, grab the Mnemonic Film for 1 spice outlay off of your back. That gets you a faction up, which is great in general, and that also locks you in for being able to pick up not just the Spiceman's Flow this round, but probably one every round remaining left in the game. And against the heavy hitters of Beast and Romber, that starts feeling a lot better than trying to mix it up in these combats. That being said, he does have troops to spend, so why not? Grabbed another Arrakis Liaison off of the Arakeen. Does go for the Alliance on Emperor. Let's get more dudes in there. I want, at the very least, nobody to get 3 points off of this. And even if you come up over the top of me, I'm still shooting for my 1 point, plus my Spiceless Flow. So, solid move there. He can't. Can he actually count on it? Can he count on getting Spiceless Flow this round if he continues to commit to combat? If Imperial Basin stays open, he certainly can. But I think if Tech Negotiation is still open by the time Baron comes back to it, I think he's best served by hitting up Tech Negotiation. Not only can he pick up Mnemonic Film and secure the Spiceless Flows, but it does feed his endgame machine culture point, which is the way to be, I think. Helena takes a trip to Drawtown. And we'll see what she's up to. Got some water as well. I don't know what the water is going to be used for. Also don't know why he wouldn't commit at least 3 with Negotiate Withdraw in hand. Especially if you have a dagger and a... I mean, you have a full space. Like, you're not playing the Negotiate Withdraw. There's no point. I don't know. That's a weird move by Helena. Double Cross does change things yet once again for elessar. He's definitely got the money to pay for it. Doesn't quite have the cash for a full 3 points, but he only needs 2 to trigger endgame. And if you're triggering endgame, you know, starting 2 points ahead in the round, feels pretty good. And looks like Robert is saying, nope, rapid mobilization is happening this round. I'm going to take it. I'm going to get my 2 points. There's nothing you can do to stop me. I got rapid mobilization. I have Allied Armada. I can pay for this all. I'm getting my 2 points. and it is really, really angsty. It's gonna be a time of tears here in a second. Everybody going full commit. And what's crazy is from all of the perspectives, I can see exactly why they think they have the strongest chance of winning the combat, and strong motivations to do so as well. He's actually playing machine culture to pick up mem coders. Now, mem coders will give him an extra point if he can find. No, it's giving him an extra point right now. All he needs to do is take it in the bennies. Yep. All right. Fair enough. And as long as he doesn't, he can play the dagger out of his hand or early reveal for the spice must flow at the end of this round. So it's probably pretty good for him too. Um, Trading machine culture. Yeah, that's a good point. He didn't pay his spice. Yep. I was going to say Baron needs to pay his spice there. But yeah, trading machine culture for mem coders is, it's not quite point neutral. Like, it is a direct benefit, but with Mnemic Film and mem coders on offer, didn't seem like it would have been too difficult to get the third tech. But what that does do is let him put a little pressure on Lannister. So, hey, buddy, you without all the actions, you without your sword master, you're not getting this one for free. You're gonna have to, defend it. But these combat totals are absolutely insane. Would not blame Cash if Cash just backs out entirely off of this combat. Almost no point in being there at all. Negotiate withdrawal will help him do that if he so chooses. Poison Snooper. Jameis will certainly help secure this, although with Allied Armada, I don't think Lannister really needed the additional assistance. Although it would be interesting. Yeah, if he plays urgent missions and then plays out Dune over to Imperial Basin, he could threaten to pick up all 3 points on this if he doesn't have to spend his Allied Armada to secure the victory. Right now he's sitting on a combat strength of 18, I believe. So he's got 8 troops available off of the rapid mobilization. He also has the option to diplomacy back up to the Emperor track and utilize strong arm. Shots fired right back at Baron. Also has the option just to head on over to selective breeding, but he sees the possibility of 3 points. He's going to kind of take it. And it's not like he has to commit it all right now. This does keep his intrigue safe by playing out the urgent mission. I think he's planning on a negotiated withdrawal from Helena at the very least. So when she does back off of 3, even if he doesn't go full commit with the rapid mobilization, he can still pick up 2 spice, 2 Solari, and avoids the double cross that he doesn't know is in the beast's hand. Meanwhile, Baron does head back over to tech negotiation. It doesn't hurt just to spend the action and mess up everybody else's round. He's going to be revealing for far more than 9 at this point, and it's good enough. Negotiate withdrawal decision right now. I don't see any benefit in keeping your troops in the combat. There is 2 points left to pick up on the tracks for Helena. Helena does have a shifting allegiances coming up in their next draw, more likely than not. Not insanely more likely, but still more likely. Which will at least secure her a point somewhere. Beast locks out the Fremen track, commits 1 last troop. He's making a run at it. He's going to have to double cross Red, double cross the Baron to try to come up over. And now Lannister is making this commitment. He is going to get double crossed himself at this point, I believe. Or maybe not at all. Like elessar right now, no swords in hand, no follow up. Combat intrigues. Probably just sits. Has to wait at third. It feels bad. Feels bad, but there's no credible way for the beast to take this combat now. Is he going to play this double cross? He is going to go ahead and trash those spy satellites. I have forgotten to do that before, and it feels pretty bad. He is going to play the double cross. He's shooting for second place in a game ender. And he gets it, correctly spying that ribbit doesn't have any way to respond to this and actually pick it up. So elessar will pick up this second place for sure, triggering endgame. And Lannister will be able to get 3 points off of it. This is why I hate the guy. He's too damn good. He was very far behind, it felt like, just at the start of last round. And it all just has kind of come together for him. You can see him, no Swordmaster. All 4 faction points. He's got an alliance. It's not an issue. And if if it had been a detonation device at some point, if one of the other combats been VP, this is how Lannister wins games. Keep an eye on that guy. Keep track of him. He's sneaky, shifty. But yep, seems like they're talking through the combat, making sure everything's going a-okay. And yeah, it just is what it is here. No end game points for anyone either. Totally fair all the way around. What you see is what you get. And so this game, in Group B, Week 4, elessar on the Beast is going to take first place. Lannister on Romber taking second. Thank you, elessar, for saving me $5. I hate it when Lannister wins. Looks like the Baron is going to take third. Ribbit playing the Baron to ability there. And Cash, unfortunately, comes in fourth with Helena. But well played, everyone. This was highly enjoyable to watch. I hope it was entertaining for everyone here. If you've made it this far into the game, you no longer have to listen to just my voice. I'm going to go ahead and pop on into their Discord channel and see what they have to say after the fact. All right. How's it going, guys? elessar. Oh, man. Well done. First of all, well done. Thank you for saving me $5. I appreciate that. You. I'm glad you triggered the end game there, because next round combat would have been rough, I think, for my wallet. But yeah, this was a weird game. I felt like just because of how little faction access there was early. And then the timing for everybody's commitments to combats just kind of seemed off in what they were wanting, what they were shooting for. It felt like Lannister, you won last round's combat on accident. You definitely wanted someone to come up over top of you, it seemed like. I mean, urgent mission and the rapid mob. So it's an interesting. It's always interesting to me when decks that no one is gonna go and say that this is an overpowered deck, right? Like that. This is not the this is not the oh, he got lucky off the Imperium row. Oh, he got lucky. No, that did so much work. I think you got what, 4 trips to interstellar shipping with that, or 3? Yep. I think the general poor quality of the Imperium row certainly hurt Cash quite a bit. Would you agree there, Cash? Yeah, I think yeah, I definitely noted your unluck with the dagger there, but I don't think I mentioned your option to go up to tech negotiation, so I definitely missed that as well. Well, that's good. Double shipping, I believe. Yeah, that was criminally costed double shipping. I think the fact that the second combat was not a victory point one, not a faction one, not a money one, really hurt Orski. He's just sitting there looking like I could go to Hardy Warriors, but why? Yep. Other than that, my question would be why so many liaisons? That seemed a little odd. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, no. I, oh, that was brutal. He can't plan for it, but he'd be a fool not to take it away from you. Well, at the time, he didn't have access that you knew of. He was sitting on it in hand. So there's. I I think I spent 20 minutes saying everybody's planning for an early economic supremacy, and what do you know? Well, yeah, I would agree with that plan right there too. It's not guaranteed, but it is at that point pretty likely. All right. Well, I think this is where I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you to all the viewers for watching. Thank you to all the players for playing. Well done, everybody. Um, yeah, I'm out.